So today I'm going to talk briefly about a couple of YouTuber books that in my junior and senior years of high school I was so ready to just devour the stories of two of my favorite YouTube creators at the time. And I'm a different person now than I was when I was first reading these YouTuber books, but I still really enjoyed them at the time, and I think I would still enjoy them now too. Of course, more and more books have been published since then by YouTubers as it became another stream of income and a boost to their status. But some of these stories from YouTubers were written into memoirs because these kind of creators are people who started on YouTube to create, not just because they saw it as a boost to an influencer status that they desired. So sure, they got a book deal and they got to add to their streams of income, but I think what Franta and Tyler Oakley's books kind of showed me was that they really did create their YouTube channels for something more than just clout or business reasons. Because Franta talks a lot about, in almost everything he does, and especially this book, he talks about how he has just always been a really creative person and has always wanted to create. And Tyler Oakley is just he's a comedian, like, at his root, because he's just funny and he tells stories really well that make you laugh and stuff. I haven't really watched either of them on YouTube in a really long time. I'll see Connor's videos every so often, but not as much Tyler anymore. But what I just really love about both of these books is how connected you do feel to their memoir of life and what they had been through so far. And this book by Franta is just really beautiful. And it says, "I'm just a small town kid trying to figure out my place in the big wide world. I've only been around for 22 years and there's so much left for me to explore and learn." Okay, I love that because that is literally me right now. I'm from a small town. I'm literally 22 years old trying to figure out where I fit in, what I want to do. I know what I want to do, but how do I want to do it? What do I want to accomplish by doing it? And so on and so forth. And what I really enjoy about this book is if I wrote a memoir, this is how I would want to do it, because it's so personable, because he puts in a lot of like pictures, a lot of really cool photos that he, bookmark from this book fell out on the floor, to just make it more personable and make it more like really his book and his story, and you know what he's talking about in his life. You can look at photos that he's taken over the years with it, and it's really neat. And I think, again, like, if I wrote a book, it would be like anecdotes with photos, because I think that it's like watching a video. You're getting in someone's head, you know, what they see, how they see it, and it's really cool. And I was a different person when I read this book in 2015, like my junior year of high school. The very end of it is when this book came out, my junior year of high school. And I'm a different person now, and so is the author, so is Franta. But there's a lot that I felt like I resonated with then, and that I could also resonate with now, because I was flipping through this when I decided I wanted to do this video, to just kind of read a little bit again, because I've read the whole book, but it's been like 5 years. And so I think that's true about both of these books. You know, Tyler Oakley, I was like such a big Tyler Oakley fan. Two of my friends and I went to see him. You all wore like pajama onesies. It was one of those things. We went to see him in Atlanta, and he was hilarious and was so funny. And this book, I think, is cool because he's so personal generally, in his videos too. And I haven't watched his videos in a while, like I said, but like when I did watch his videos, he was a really personable person. And this book, I remember going to the bookstore. In high school, I got out early because I had so many credits. So by the time I was a senior, I was just finishing out a few credits. So I got out of school early every day, and before I went to work, I went and got this book because it had come out. And first of all, this book, it also has the same situation, like with photos and stuff. And he tells so many hilarious stories, but he also tells stories that's like, okay, I can relate to that, or that sounds like something that would happen, or maybe it hadn't happened to me, but it will happen in the future, or it has happened since I read this book. But anyway, I just also think that when I saw these on my bookshelf, the past few months, every time I get on YouTube, I'm like, oh, I miss the old YouTube or something like that, right? And I think that both of these books, these were two of the many creators that I watched when I first started watching YouTube. And when I was younger and they were publishing books, I was like, I have to get these books because I love these creators. I want to know more about them first of all, but also I just wanted to know more about them because so I could be with the rest of their subscribers knowing more about them and why they're on the path that they're on. And I think that seeing these just like fueled that nostalgia a little bit more, and so that's what prompted me to like want to make this video. And as you get older, you start to notice nostalgia in different ways, and it's really strange that I am nostalgic for a certain way YouTube used to be, which I know a lot of people who've been watching YouTube for a while probably can relate to that sentiment as well. But so I think I'm gonna do a look back through a couple of these books, and just because I know that if I read parts of them again, I'm gonna put myself back, like what I was thinking when I was like reading it or something, because yeah, I just kind of want to put myself back in that mindset just for nostalgia purposes, thinking about the old YouTube, because so many of the YouTubers that I used to watch aren't really doing YouTube as much. They're doing different business and creative endeavors, which great on them. It's really crazy how far YouTube has come, and YouTube creators have come, but I think these two books, along with some others that were coming out around the same time, but I haven't read a lot of YouTuber books because the ones coming out nowadays, it's like I don't really care to read because they're money grabs, or they're just like the YouTube influencer types that kind of started YouTube maybe for reasons other than really wanting to express himself through stories or through filming and like creating something, like Connor and Tyler were when they were starting up YouTube. And I think that's what drew me to both of these creators in general, and I think it's what drew me to wanting to buy these books and to keep these books. They're on my bookshelf, like my main bookshelf with a lot of my other books, because I think there's like some good stuff in here. There's real stories of real people in here, and they're both very different type books. One is much more funny and one is more serious, both with lighthearted tones, and then both with more serious tones at some points when you're reading the books. So I just think that that's really neat, and I just kind of wanted to reflect on that today, for nostalgia purposes, for general YouTube as an entertainment stream has come so far, so fast. And it's really interesting to place myself back into when I was in high school, reading these books, adoring these creators, and knowing that they shaped me somehow, some way, just like a lot of other creators have inspired me, artists, filmmakers, photographers, other YouTubers, and it's just really cool. And thank you for watching VDM Day 12? Is that? Yeah, VDM Day 12, and I will see you guys again for VDM 13.